Welcome to Part of My Frenchie. This is me, 143. If you don't have a friend, you have one now. Welcome to Saturday's edition. Today is Saturday, 7 o'clock. This is kind of the open topic day. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Tuesdays, 7 o'clock are pet loss days. Saturdays are kind of open topic where we encourage everybody to jump in and join the conversation. I usually pick one or two topics. Hello to our beautiful moderator. I usually pick one or two topics and then we can all join in and have an open discussion about it. It's more free, not a lot, sometimes it's pet related, sometimes it's not, but it's just more of a hello, Dave, hello, Violet, hello, Emerald, hello, welcome. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. But yes, just like I said, today is very kind of interactive, and like I said, it's just please join in and definitely just going to be kind of a great topic today, and one that I think will be one that everybody will be able to participate in. I like doing that. I like to pick something that a lot of people can relate to, and usually it's a topic that has affected me during the week. So I like to talk about it because it typically will affect a lot of people and give some people something to ponder on. But I think it's good to bring to a community together. So hello, welcome. And again, Tuesdays, pet loss day. So if you or somebody else has lost a pet, please join us on Tuesdays where we will have the community join there. But anytime, Tuesdays, Saturdays, we are happy that you are here. So join. Thank you. But welcome. Glad that everybody is here. So anyways, getting started. We are in daylight savings time. So tomorrow, if you are, hey, Michelle in New Zealand with Bubba. Hello. So currently, it looks like we've got, all right, let me put this up real quick and if you would like, I will throw this out there. So currently we've got Violet is on from the Chicago area. So hello, Violet. Violet from the Chicago area is on, and I will put this up. And Bubba from New Zealand is on. So hello, welcome. If you would like your dog's spotlit on the channel, the moderator will put up the email address when she gets a moment. I don't like to rush her, but when she gets a moment, she will stick the email address in the chat. Just go ahead and you can email in your pet's photo and we will spotlight your pet on the channel. So we love to spotlight pets. So please go ahead and send in pet photos because we love pet photos. So welcome everyone. Welcome Patty. Welcome. Real quick, I will give an update on Coco. Quick Coco update. Coco is sound asleep on the couch right next to me. You can probably see the top of her coat. She is sound asleep. She is doing fabulous. Coco is doing absolutely fabulous. God love her. Doing wonderful. And she is snoring, sleeping. Her incisions, her scars and everything are healing remarkably well. So God love Coco. She has just been hanging in there and and her breathing is so much better. Her nose, everything she's eating, everything has just been wonderful. So, yeah. Michelle said that's Bubba with his new life jacket. Oh yeah, I was gonna. You know what? It's funny. Oh, this life jacket. The girls have a life jacket too for when they go swimming as well. Rosie's is a shark life jacket. It has a little fin on it, and Coco's is a mermaid. So they have to have their life jackets or they'll sink. They're not too good of swimmers. Lola's actually, well, she doesn't go in too far, so I don't really know what kind of swimmer she is, but Lola's my little old lady. She just kind of hangs out by the shore and just walks around and she just enjoys the water. So yeah, he isn't he handsome? He is so handsome, right? He is a handsome little guy. So, but yes, Coco is doing fantastic. Thank God. And again, shout out to MedVet who did a remarkable job. I have her 2 week checkup coming up on Tuesday, so we will get we will get the we will get an update, a good sign off hopefully from them. But she is, I mean, just eating well. Everything is just wonderful with them, with her. So again, hats off to MedVet for everything that they've done. So, oh yeah, that's right. Uh, uh, Patty says that she had life jackets for her basset hounds, and growing up, we had a life jacket for our boxer. Our boxer couldn't swim. Our boxer Buck couldn't swim either. So I remember because at our grandmother's house, she had a big lake, and I mean, she just like that boxer would just, I mean, he would, that poor dog. Yeah, yeah. This is a pretty necklace, isn't it? The moderator got me this beautiful necklace, so thank you, moderator. So yes, the moderator got me this very beautiful necklace. So thank you, moderator. Thank you. Uh, but so, anyways, lots of interesting things going on this past week, and a lot of going through the topics. Like I said, we on Saturdays, kind of just different topics and different things that I was trying to pick out some good things that we could discuss today for Saturday, since it's kind of you know kind of a potpourri show for Saturday and not too much pet loss. So one of the things, and I did clear this with the moderator ahead of time. I'm not going to go too much into the detail, but so when the moderator so to wait, Michelle says, oh, before Bubba's stroke, he was a really good swimmer. Oh, really? See, before I was gonna say sometimes the breed, they're good swimmers, and sometimes they're not. It just kind of depends. I've heard and I've seen on YouTube and so forth. I've seen, Frenchies and so forth. I've seen them great swimmers. They'll go and jump in pools and so forth, and they'll be great swimmers. And then sometimes they're not. So, but and I'll be very honest. The girls have they've never been in too deep of water. I've taken them to this one kind of like beach area, and I've never let them go out too far. So, so I don't know. I've never really tested it, but I always just put a life jacket on either way. And the one good thing, I will be very honest, the one good thing, Rosie had her life jacket on the one time, and there was this rather aggressive dog at the dog beach, and he tried to bite her, and thank God she had that damn life jacket on, because he would have probably gotten her pretty good. So after that incident happened, the owners, because this was huge like dog beach. So you went into like the fenced in area, and I mean when I say huge dog beach, you go into the fenced in area and it's all fenced, and then it's a huge beach, and it's all just for dogs. And so we were at the one end, and of course this family came down with their dog, and it was pretty aggressive. And of course it went up to Rosie, and I just don't think it was good with little dogs, is what I'm assuming. But yeah, he tried to bite her and went for got the back of her life jacket. So thank God she had that on. We were very, very lucky for that. So anyways, but then they decided that they were going to move down to the other end of the beach where there were more bigger dogs. But I'm not going to lie, to be honest, at first they kind of looked at me like I should move, but I'm like, I was there first, and plus there were other littler dogs there. So right. Yeah, Michelle says that she had to introduce Bubba slowly to swimming because of his big head. They sink, correct. Yeah, because of the way that their bodies are shaped, they sink quickly. And that does happen. That does happen. So it's just one of those things where the way that they're shaped, they like they sink quickly. So, oh, you talking about really? He knows. I've seen that before too. I've seen that dogs that surf. I think that that's really cool. I think that's really really cool. I mean, dogs can do some amazing. I've seen dogs skateboard and everything else. So, yeah, it's amazing what dogs can do. If if you take the time and you teach them to do really cool things. I've seen English bulldogs. They do the skateboarding and all that, and maybe with time and patience and so forth, mine could try to do that, but I don't know. I don't know, but anyway, so yeah, this past week with the moderator, and for those of you who don't know, the moderator is my daughter. So my oldest daughter. I only have two kids, and she always says that I only have one. But so the moderator is my daughter, and so her and I were. Oh, see So the moderator the moderator said, "Oh, I only thought you had one child." No, I do have two kids, and so the moderator is my oldest child, and so her and I were out, and we were talking, and she was asking me about forgiveness, and she was saying, so in our religion, because we're Catholic, she said, in our religion, are we supposed to forgive? And she's kind of going through a rough situation right now, which I won't get into, even though she says I can get into it. I don't want to, but she's going through a rough situation right now where forgiving forgiving a person is rather challenging. And I said, well, yeah, according to our, what we're supposed to do, right? The moderator says she is hard-headed. Correct. According to what we're supposed to do, we are supposed to forgive, and basically we forgive, and we give it to God, and God will take care of it from there. And we're supposed to go and move on with our life, and you know because that's what gives us peace. If you hang on to it, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't hurt them. It hurts us. It hurts us mentally. It hurts us physically, because when you have all that stress, it does nothing but just breaks us down, right? And again, it doesn't hurt them. And as hard as it is, and I always say, you're not like you're not forgetting, and you're not letting them back into your life, but you're saying, I'm letting go of that, and I'm moving on. I'm forgiving that situation, and I'm moving on. And again, I'm letting God handle it, and He'll take care of it, and I'm just moving on. So, and it is hard. It is hard, and I don't think that there's a timeline on that, right? I don't think that there's, like, she's at the point where she's like, I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do that yet. And fair enough. I mean, she was hurt extreme. She went through a very very rough situation where it is, it would be very challenging to forgive somebody, and or to forgive these people. And I get it. I get it. So, and I told her, I said, so maybe it will take you a little bit longer, and that's okay. That's okay. But the longer it takes you to do that, the more it's only going to hurt you mentally and physically, because it hurts you mentally, and then it's going to break you down physically, right? So, um, that's always the thing. It's like, what do you want to do for yourself? You want to take care of yourself, right? And again, the good thing is you've got so much. She's lucky. She's got so much great family support, and that's the most important thing, is when you have so much family support and family love. It makes, I think it makes that a little bit more easy to do. And so, I mean, I think it's easy for people that aren't in such, in a specific situation, in that specific situation to say that, right? It's easier for me because I'm not in that situation to say, oh yeah, forgive them, right? Forgive those people because I'm not in that situation. But it's not saying that I haven't been in situations like that before, or not specifically in that situation before. I, what, oh, okay, so what was it? Uh, okay, so probably here's one good example. A few years back, I was at work. Okay, I was at work, and there was two people that I have to work with every day, very close to. Again, we were in a business meeting, and during the business meeting, the the one person had put you know had to like show their computer screen up, to show a presentation. And when they did that, they had their chat log up where they were chatting with the other person that I work with. And unfortunately, in that chat, they were saying some very, very bad things about me in that chat. And the person didn't realize that when they put it on the screen, because they were talking to somebody else, that chat where they were saying all these bad things about me was up on the screen. So until somebody like gave them a look, and then they pulled it down right away. And I, of course I saw it. Everybody in the room saw it. And I didn't say anything. I didn't make any kind of look. And again, these were two people that I worked very close with. And, I considered them my work friends, but I didn't say anything. And I left that meeting, and I went on with my work day. They didn't say anything to me. I, again, didn't say anything to them. I didn't get upset. And a few days later, one of them came to me, and they sat, they called me in a meeting, and they sat down, and they said, I've been up all night, thinking about this, and I've been up all weekend and thinking about this, and I'm just so sorry. And I said, no, you're not. You're not. You're not sorry. I said it is. I said, but it's okay. I said, that's clearly the way that you felt, and that's okay. It's okay that you felt that way. And I said, obviously, I upset you too about something, and that's okay. It's okay to have feelings about me on things, and I forgive you. It's okay. You can't like somebody all the time, every day. And, clearly I upset them both on something. And I told him, I said, I'm not mad at you. I said, I honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I'm to the point in my life where things like that don't bother me anymore. There's going to be people in your life that are going to like you, that are not going to like you. And to be honest, if you're not, I don't know, if you're not paying my paycheck, or the one that promotes me, or, the one that's, I don't know. It just, if you're not the one that can, that's worth it in life, I don't care. I don't care what you think. Yeah, that's fine. But I told him, I said, I don't, I forgive you. It's okay. It's okay to have thoughts or feelings about me. It's fine. And it was also, I'm always willing to give people grace in situations like that, because it's awkward. A, it's awkward, and B, we still have to work together every day. And I can't be mad at somebody and have to work with them, for years and years on, right? And so I was over it. And I told him that. I said, I'm over it. Let's move on. It's over. Let's move on. I'm fine. And if anything, I wanted it to be a good example for them as well to know that, okay, people in life make mistakes. And one day they will encounter somebody that makes a mistake to them. And maybe they'll show that person a little grace as well, right? And, because it happens. And people do a lot of stupid things in life. I know that I've done a lot of stupid things in life and things that you wish that you could take back, especially maybe you say things that you wish that you could take back. And, there's maybe not people that are as nice as me that wouldn't take it back, right? Um, right, exactly. It's good to forgive. That makes us move. Right, exactly, exactly. It's good to forgive because it makes you move on from the past. Exactly. Because if not, I mean, y- I was thinking about this today as well. Yeah, I think if you look at your whole week, right? Because I was thinking about this today. If we're looking at our whole week, think about every day this week and how much, like, between watching the news, watching, which I don't even watch the news anymore hardly, but look at all the negativity that we have every single day. And that's like ridiculous. I don't think that we're put on this planet to live these unhappy lives, right? I think that we're put on this planet to live a wonderful life. We had a beautiful, the weather, it was rainy today. However, it was beautiful. There were still, points where the sun was out. I'm very blessed because my dog's, feeling a hell of a lot better. Everybody in the family's healthy today, thank God. I mean, there's so many great things to be positive about, but you look at your week and you're like, look at every day and think about all the negativity that creeps in because we tune into all this negative, you know, pardon my French, but like, this bullshit that's on, TV that we get wrapped up in. And, I don't think that we're put on this planet to be involved. Now, do I think that we need to ignore that stuff? No, no. I mean, but I think that we need to, still focus on the good. And I still think that we need to, do our part and get out there and still help people. I think that that's still, important. I had, I mean, even, okay, so here's another one. I was at a baseball game over this past summer, and I had it was my son and I, we were in this long line for ice cream, right? And it's freaking hot, really hot, right? And you know, you got a long line for ice cream. Now, if it was up to me, I would have just jumped out of the line. But I got my son there, and he's, oh, I want some ice cream, blah blah blah. So we get up there, and it's like a madhouse when you get up to the front, and there's a bunch of people. There's two registers, people all over the place, and I order my ice cream. You move over to the next lady, and she's, like, what do you want? What kind of toppings do you want? All this stuff, right? So, there's like 20 people behind the register. And, one person's doing toppings, one person's doing sprinkles, all this stuff. Well, and on top of it, there's like other people that just paid, they're moving to the side. So, anyways, I'm like, okay, I don't know where the hell I'm going. So I paid for my stuff. We moved over. And so the lady looks at me, she's like, okay, what do you want on your little Sundays things? So I moved over, and I'm like, okay, so I start telling the lady what I want. Well, all of a sudden I hear this voice, very not nice, this angry voice say, well, excuse me, um, I guess it's all about you. And I was like, oh hell. And I'm like, what? And I looked, and it's this lady, and I'm like, oh, and she was a lady. She had a baby on her hip. She had like this crying kid on her leg, and she's hot. And she's like, and I said, oh my God. I'm like, did I cut in front of you? I am so sorry. And she's like, oh no, you go, because it's all about you. And I said, "Oh my God." I said, "No, no, no, no." No. And she's like, "No, no." And I'm like, and, and at, and at first, I honestly, I thought I was getting punked. I thought it was a joke because I thought there is no way that that this is happening to me. And I stopped and I just looked at her and I thought to myself, okay, Jen, you there was a time in your life when you had small children and you were at baseball games or events and you were really hot and tired and sweaty and you were in long lines and you were in situations like that. So I stopped and I just looked at her and I said, how can I help you? I said, let me help you. And she just looked at me and she said, I'm so sorry. I said, no. I said, let me help you. So I said, I said, what did you get? What did you get? You know, what do you want on your ice cream? I'm like, so I started helping her. I started grabbing her stuff and helping her with her stuff and getting her to her table and all that. And 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 of course, like then her husband, appeared later on, like with two beers and all this stuff. And I'm like, where were you at? But anyways, all I kept thinking was, you know, had it been anybody else, they probably could have unloaded on this poor lady. But sometimes you just kind of have to stop and evaluate the situation on top of the fact of, I had my son there. And I had, as a, my son at the time was, 11 years old. And you also have to be, or I feel like as a mom, my job, I, I never want, I never want my son to look to other people as role models. I want my son to look to his parents as role models. So, yeah, I mean, granted, I would have never done that, but like, could I have like been mean to that lady or unloaded on that lady? Yeah, but what would that have showed my kid? That I mean, what would that have showed my son, right? It would have showed him that it just would have showed that like rude equals rude. But when you can stop and take a breath and maybe evaluate the situation, maybe it's like stepping back and seeing, a little different lens. So, I mean, there's, forgiveness comes in like a lot of different, you know, ways. I mean, when I got, I mean, if I hadn't gotten scammed on Facebook, um, from the people that that I was trying to buy a puppy from a breeder on Facebook, and I drove all the way to Cincinnati with my child and my with my son and my two children. Sorry, moderator, with my two children in the car. We drove an hour and a half to Cincinnati to get a puppy and already paid these people. I had FaceTimed with these people and, um, got all the way to Cincinnati, waited there, and the the people never showed up with the puppy, and then they totally ghosted me. So, and then they stole all my money. So that was fun. Now I could have ranted and raved, and I remember driving back from Cincinnati, and I remember my son asking me. He said, he's like, "Mom," he's like, well, aren't you mad? Aren't you upset? And I said, "No, no." I said, "Because you know," I said, "if anything." because at the time my daughter wasn't living at home. She was living in her own apartment, and she's still living in her own apartment, but she was living, she wasn't living at home. I said, you know what? I said, I said, I said, no, I said, because I got to spend the whole day with both my kids, and we got to take a nice drive, and we got to, I got to spend the whole day with both my kids. And was I upset on the inside? Sure. But was I going to let be a bad example to my son? No. Um, when I went home, I started like the investigation, the online stuff with the, cyber stuff with the FBI, and then went ahead and, thank God that the bank helped me and, got my money back, and we filed all sorts of reports, and then, I mean, to me, this is how divine intervention works. That's how Coco came to me. That's how, had I gotten that puppy, I would have never been looking on the website and Licking County website and found Coco, and she would have never came into our lives. So yeah, absolutely. Well, so Rosie is, if you can't see it, Rosie is over here on my left, or yeah, on my left. She is sound asleep, and Coco is over here on my right, and she is sound asleep. They are both doing very well. They are both doing very, very well. But yeah, it was a nice trip though together. So, I mean, I don't know. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It took me years to get here. I mean, maybe when I was 20 years old, I would be spitting fire, upset. It's taken me years to get to this point in my life where I'm just like, I try to find the positive in everything, and I'm not saying that different things don't hurt, right? I mean, I mean, you guys tell me, do you find it easy to forgive people when you get hurt? I mean, you tell me, dude, how easy is it for you to forgive people? I mean, do you find it easy? Well, I know, but okay, so the moderator says no, but that's me. But again, the moderator is going through some stuff right now, and that's okay. She's taking time to process some stuff, but she'll get there. And the moderator's, she's in her 20s. She's in her 20s and she's single. So if anybody's single, the moderator's single. She's looking. She's probably gonna kill me for saying that. So, but no, um, but yeah, I mean, and I again, it's taken me years. It's taken me years to get here. I mean, I mentioned my Sammy story when my Sammy passed away in the house. That's one that, he when he passed away in the house, he was on all of his meds. He couldn't get excited. I mistakenly, prior to him getting sick, I I mistakenly invited an old friend to my house prior to him getting sick, and I forgot that I invited an old friend to my house. He had gotten sick. He was on all these meds. He couldn't get excited. The old friend had come into town and said, "Hey, I'll be here." And I was like, oh no, because the dog can't get excited. And she's like, "I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine." And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's okay. And, um, you know, the old friend came to the house, of course, was staying with me. And basically, within 24 hours, my dog got too excited and went into a heart attack and died. And I got extremely upset and made a lot of bad choices and had a lot of bad reactions over it. And um, yeah, so and it wasn't my friend's fault. It wasn't my friend's fault, but that's another good example of, and that was what, over 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. That's a good example of forgiveness. On that in that situation, she that wasn't, I want to say, I mean, back then I would say that I was mad at me. I was mad at, I don't want to say I was mad at her. I wasn't mad at her. I was mad at the situation. I was mad at the situation more than anything. But I think overall I was just hurt. I was hurt. I had lost something that was most dear to me, and and it was because of, I thought it was because of, I'm sorry, Coco. I thought it was because of my own stupidity, because I was careless. But all I can say is that, what I learned from that, or what I the pe- oh jeez, what I oh what I learned from that, or um what I grew from that, was that, again, I'm not God. I can't I can't say that that situation caused that. I can't say that, it just wasn't his time. I mean, we all have whatever time, right? Exactly, Michelle, forgiving ourselves as well, right? I mean, I can't say that that wasn't his time to go, right? Um, because we don't know. We never know, when any of our time is to go. And so that was, I mean, but that was a hard one for me. I mean, but again, that came with maturity. I mean, I can sit here now, 13 years later, because I'm at peace with it. But it took me a while. It took me a while to get at peace with it. And but that's, again, there was a lot of forgiveness there. Forgiveness, myself was probably the biggest one, the biggest one. And but again, I did a lot of I made a lot of stupid mistakes on there. A lot of stupid mistakes on there. And that's okay. I mean, that's okay, because I'm human, and I think we all make stupid mistakes, right? Um, but again, if you don't forgive yourself, you do nothing but hurt yourself. And I think you hurt others, and so, I mean, it is what it is. So but it's, also, again, when you do that, I think you're a good example to others. And if you have kids, you're a good example to them. But maybe the person that you're forgiving, maybe it'll show them that, there are people that, you know maybe they can be like that, right? They can show other people grace. And um, because that's huge. That's huge. Not a lot of people, um, not a lot of people have that ability. 'Cause this world is so hard, right? There's a lot of people that are just so hard, or they've gotten hurt so much in life that they're always, their defenses up. And so it's all about, you know protecting themselves and walls up. So um, it just makes it challenging. Michelle says, I can be a real scatterbrain, and I just have to have acceptance that I'm not perfect. Right. Right. I get that. I totally get that, right? I mean, that's huge. Mm, right. Yeah, there's um we were talking about earlier, the um moderator and I were talking about going to um the shelter to donate. She wanted to donate her one of her dog beds today, and we didn't get a chance to do that. So we're going to be doing that later this week. And we're going to donate a few things, and then um, we were talking about, volunteering and, possibly doing some volunteer stuff there. And then, I got into, all the past stuff that I volunteered, over the years. And, I, I was joking. I was telling her, I said, my mom used to say that I volunteered too much. When, years back, I was into everything. I volunteered with the sick, and I used to bring communion, and I did, like I did so many volunteer things. I did volunteer a lot, and I love to volunteer. I think everybody should do some sort of volunteer work. To me, it's just good for the soul. And you see a lot of really cool things. I mean, it makes you feel good when you can help other people and do good for other people. And um, although they do make fun of me at work because we do a lot of volunteer things at work, and I will say that right now I do most of the animal stuff, the dog stuff, not because of the channel, but because of the most of the stuff that they do for the human things are normally at they normally do um, like the food banks, which is great, but it's all this like heavy lifting of like cans and boxes and stuff. And I have like a crooked broken back thing, and I can't do all this lifting anymore. So I can't do that aspect, but I can do the Humane Society where I can walk dogs. So I always sign up for that one, and they always make fun of me for that. So Patty says she's not a good role model anymore. I'm the fun grandma. You know what, though? No, that is a good role model. There's nothing wrong with being a fun grandma because a fun grandma is a loving grandma. So when you're a fun grandma, that means you're a loving grandma. So that there's nothing wrong with being a fun grandma, because I think that my grandmother was a very fun grandma, and I think she was a loving grandma as well. And my grandmother, when we used to go to church, after church, we would go down to the like soup kitchen underneath, and I remember she used to do that, and we would uh, like to like pass out food and stuff to the homeless. So I remember that growing up as well, and that was always cool. I really really enjoyed that. So like I said, it's just always really nice to to just volunteer and give back to the community. Just really 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 interesting. But I don't know. So I will say I was gonna I I I normally do on Saturdays my Frenchie find of the week, and I am doing something a little different today. So, oh wait, Coco is come here, Coco, come here. Coco is scratching something, so I apologize. I don't know what she's scratching. But I usually do on Saturdays my Frenchie find of the week, and today is not going to be a Frenchie find of the week. So I will say that I so everybody knows that I go to like, if you watch my pet treat videos, um a lot of my I go to the you know Volunteers of America, and I go to Goodwills and stuff like that, and I'll get like little donut makers and all that stuff. Well, I I was with the moderator, and I know but there's one person on here that is not going to like this, that is watching, that is not going to like this. But I had to get this. I had to buy this because, yes, exactly. Because when I saw this, and they're going to think I'm crazy. I'm not going to lie. They're going to think I'm crazy. Well, this person is not going to like this that's watching this right now, because I had to go back and buy this. Did Coco need no? Actually, no. Real quick, no. Coco did not need any rehabilitation. Actually, no. She was fine. She bounced back right away. She bounced back right away. But so when the moderator and I walked into Volunteers of America yesterday, I had seen this item, and I right away picked it up. Now I I thought it was adorable and cute, and I immediately like started like screwing around with it, and I thought, oh yeah, what a great addition to this show. Now, granted, I had sent it to one of the um, co co co-producers of the show, who right away vetoed it and said, absolutely not. You're going to look like a crazy person. And I and I said, "Oh, why not? Why not have have a segment of this?" And they said, "Absolutely not. You're going to look like a crazy person." And so, anyways, I went back today and I bought it because I just and then I looked it up because I thought, well, it was just really cute. So, right. So I am going to show it. It will probably never come back ever again. So this is probably the only time you will ever see it because I don't want to look like a crazy person, but I had to buy it. It was made. I will give some history on it because I looked it up. It was popular in 1985, and it was a popular toy in 1985. And tell me if this damn thing is not cute, right? And I know this is probably going to get me in like major crap. This this is a dog puppet, right? Na- Named Wrinkles. And if I don't look crazy enough right now, right? And it's got a dog bone. This dog puppet is named Wrinkles, right? Yeah, moderators say Wrinkles. Look at this thing, right? And so I was joking. I was joking yesterday while I was in Volunteers of America. And I I contacted the like co-producer and I'm like, so we should have like a puppet segment. And they're like, absolutely not, which I was joking. I'm not really going to have a puppet segment. There's no way. There's no way we would have a puppet segment. But as a joke, I'm like, just to be silly or whatever. But I thought this thing was like the damn cutest thing in the world. I don't know why. Like, but yeah, again, this thing is like from 1985, adorable, right? Absolutely adorable. And you will probably never see it again. Um, well, maybe you'll see, I don't know, but you won't ever see it in, let me put it this way. You're never going to see it in a puppet form. Like it'll never be talking to me in a puppet form. Like we won't have a conversation. I'm sorry. We will, yeah, it's vintage and it's cute, but we will never, like, you won't ever be, it won't, oh, hello. Yeah, you Coco ran away somewhere. She's like underneath my couch somewhere. But yeah, you won't ever come on here and see it like mail call. Like yeah, you won't this won't ever be like a thing unless like for some reason I lose my mind completely. Um but I had to do that. I just had to because I thought it was like cute as hell and I just wanted to but yeah. So I didn't have a Frenchie find of the week, but I did I right, yeah, look at this thing. Like look at the vintage dress. It's got a dog bone and I know, right? Oh, Dave says why not have a puppet segment? Do you really Dave, do you really want a puppet segment? Right. Right. Oh, well, more people are joining. Maybe they want a puppet segment. Because I'm not a ventriloquist. I oh, the oh, I'm sure the co-producer is going to kick this right out. I'm sure because yeah, because I'm sure as soon as this is over, I'm sure he's going to like come and grab this immediately away from me and be like, yeah, this should have never entered this live tonight because he's going to kill me and be like, yeah, you're going to like get kicked off of YouTube forever for having this. Um, I don't know. Let me see if I can find Coco. Hang on. Let me see if I can get her up here. Come here, Coco. Come here. Let me see if she's on, if I can get her out of here. Let me see. Come here. I don't know where she went. Coco, where's she at? Rosie's over. Rosie's next to me. Come here, Rosie. I don't know. Well, Coco's here. I'm calling Coco. Coco's deaf, so I know she's underneath my chair, or underneath my couch. She's yeah. That's a bad thing when Coco's. Oh wait, here she is. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, monkey. Yes. Oh, Rosie's gonna get. jealous. Hang on. Let's see. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come with mommy. See if we can get her up here. Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I know. Well, I know that. Oh, here's Rosie. Come here. I don't know what she's doing. Come here. Come here. Oh, she's hiding under there. Well, here's Rosie. If you want to see Rosie, see, anytime I call Coco, Rosie comes around. Say hi, Rosie. Here. Here's Rosie. Here's Sit. Yeah, I know. We have to learn not to use my. So, well, here's Rosie. So, yeah, Coco's hanging out underneath here. Come here. Want to say hi? Come on up here. Come on up. Come here. Come on. Come up. Come on up. Up. Here. Come here. All right. Here's okay. So here, Coco made it up. Yeah. So here. All right. Let's see if I can move. So now we got. All right. So now we've got Coco, Wrinkles. Coco, Wrinkles. So here's yeah. See, Coco's doing so much better. So now we freaking Wrinkles. So you can see Coco's doing so much better. Yeah. So we got all the girls here. But yeah. So I'm so glad. I'm so glad everybody joined today. I gotta get this stupid puppet out of the way. But yeah. But yeah. So I am so glad everybody joined today. And again, Tuesdays are going to be. Aw, Bubba says hi, Rosie. Oh, actually, come here. I was going to say, if you could see, I don't know if you could see, if we can, you can kind of see. I'm going to try to move my hand. Oh, no, I can't. I was going to say, I was trying to move her neck up so you could see her incision under there. But let's see if I can get that. You can kind of see, oh, there you go. So you could see her incision under there, under her neck. She's smelling wrinkles. But you can kind of see her incision under her neck, but it's healing really, really well. She had that's where they did the surgery on her neck, and then they opened up her airways. But she's doing so well. I know, right? Yeah, she can jump, she can do everything. She has done amazing. But again, Tuesdays are going to be the pet loss day, and yeah, Coco's always near during the cooking segments. She tries to jump up on the damn table, but I mean, I'm so proud of her. Her recovery has been amazing. Her recovery has been absolutely amazing. Wrinkles. No. So, but I appreciate everybody stopping by today. I really do. I really do. It means so much to me, so very much to me. And next Saturday it'll be the same time, same place, 7 p.m. And again, I think that, and then Tuesday, it'll be Tuesday, 7 o'clock as well. We will be on. Last question of the day. And this was a big one. Oh, wait, so, oh, thank you. It says so healthy and fit. You're a great. Thank you. You know, I appreciate it. I'll tell you what, rehabbing. Well, you know how it is, Michelle. Michelle rehabbed her dog. Michelle's dog, Bubba, had a stroke, and she totally had to rehabilitate her dog. And I mean, it was just, she did the same thing. She had to totally rehabilitate her dog. And so it's hard when you get a dog that goes through something like this. You have to keep them a certain way. You have to keep, I mean, it's challenging. It is challenging. And I mean, even keeping them settled and, with Rosie and everything, it is challenging, but and they don't understand, their dogs and all that stuff. But anyways, you do it because you love them, and that's why you do it. But anyways. So Tuesday, 7 p.m. Oh, last question. That's what I was going to say. Last question. last, oh, I want to say this too. Oh, were you sneezing? Here. Okay, so the question of the day: if you have a dog, do you let your dog sleep in your bed with you? That's the question of the day. So answer in the chat. If you have a dog, do you let your dog sleep in the bed with you? That is the question of the day. And while you're answering that, I had, oh, what are you barking for? Moderator says yes. I know there's a little delay on these responses too, so my apologies. And while you're answering that, I will show you for those that. So when Michelle's dog, this picture too. So when Michelle's dog Bubba went through a stroke, she totally did she rehabbed him all the way back. Like this is when he couldn't walk, and she totally had to rehab him back to where he could walk. Like he couldn't walk at all here, and then she like totally rehabbed him where he could walk again, and he's completely healthy again. I mean, that was just amazing. They didn't give him a very good prognosis at all, but she did an amazing job with getting him back to where he needed to be, which is, it's just great. It's great because, just wonderful. Yeah, she said she has to lift him up and down. Yeah, it's just, yeah. So. Well, we are at the end of our hour. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was, like you said, he was fully paralyzed. You did an amazing job with that. And did you do water? Did you do water therapy on him too? Or just, did you do the regular? I think you did. I thought you did water therapy with him too. I remember you saying, yeah, people said to let him go because he was paralyzed. Like to put him down. And it's hard. I mean, when you have a dog that is fully functional, and to say, let him down or put him down, I mean, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And I was thinking the other day too, like even with Coco and her situation, I wonder because I'm not going to lie, her surgery was not cheap at all. And, had she been with another family that, I mean, again, I'm not saying that, we're well off by any means, but, had she been with another family that couldn't afford that surgery, would she have been put down? And Coco was only 3 years old, so, you think of stuff like that, like, if she was with another family, would she have been put down? Because honestly, there's no way. There's no way without the surgery, she would have been okay. So, yeah. But anyways, all right. Tuesday, pet loss. You absolutely right. You got to give them a chance and give them hope. Absolutely. All right, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pet loss. Saturday is going to be another Saturday, 7 p.m. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pet loss. Please hit the like, subscribe button. If you don't have a friend, you have one now. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate all of you. Thank you. Oh, I know, right? No kidding, right? Same thing with this one. Yeah, with this surgery, I could have bought 4 Frenchies. No joke. So I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Please stay safe. Please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Make sure you forgive everybody. Stay happy. Stay positive. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.